I'm Ebong.
I'm Christina Wilkie.
And I'm Kate.
Today we're dishing with you from Blackfin Saloon, which is located at 1620 I Street, Northwest Washington.
And we have a couple of pieces of news to share with you this week. One, we're very sad to lose Pamela Sorensen, but we are interviewing for some new hosts. Thank you so much, Christina Wilkie.
I didn't get the job.
for joining us.
That was terrible.
And second, we're very excited to be on Comcast stations around the greater Washington area. Check your channel listings for time and channel information on where we can be found. Today we are joined by Nate Guggenheim of Long & Foster, who is a real estate agent in the area who actually sold me my first home. Thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome.
What's the state of the real estate market?
Well, the market is stable, I would say. In Washington, I mean, prices have remained stable. They've come down about 7% year over year.
Okay, but what does that mean? Okay, does that mean it's good for a buyer, or what does that mean?
It does. I mean, the market is very good for buyers at the moment, with the $8,000 tax credit, which is about to run out. So if you're thinking of buying, go out and buy now.
Oh, when does it run out?
It runs out, I think November 30th is the last day. So
that is good to know. Okay.
Yeah, there's all kind of little idiosyncrasies with that too. Like you get even more if you're a federal employee or something like that, or more if you work for the District of Columbia, or more if you check it out on the website.
Yeah,
right?
I mean their website is good. It caps out at a certain income. Unfortunately, DC is so expensive that a lot of people actually can't take advantage of it, because to buy anything you sort of cap yourself out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Sure.
But there's that, and also the Federal Housing Administration has loans that allow for purchases with as little as 3.5% down.
Okay.
But is that a good thing?
Well,
how much do you think you should put down?
Exactly, and does this low amount to put down encourage people who, maybe can't sustain a loan long term?
well, buying in a prudent way is obviously very important. So if you're going to put a little bit down, you want to make sure that you're buying something that is going to hold its value.
Right.
You're not overpaying for it, and you're also able to afford the monthly payments. It's not like it had been, where if you bought something, there was going to be this jump in interest rate. We're talking about 30-year fixed loans.
Okay.
So you know what your payment's going to be all throughout the term of the loan. Mm-hmm. So you probably won't get into a position where you're not going to afford your house at a later date, but you want to be sure that you're not spending more than you should just because you're putting.
And I think that was part of the problem in the past, where people were actually buying more home because of the flexibility with their ability to get the loans and ARMs and stuff.
Yeah, you were able to get a much bigger loan than you should have been able to get. And you were getting it at a very small interest rate, interest only for a portion, and then it would jump and you suddenly couldn't afford your house.
Well, what's out there right now and what's selling? We're looking at studios? Are we looking at $1 million townhomes? Are we looking at one bedrooms? I mean, what do you see selling right now?
There's a lot out there. Studios and one bedrooms are selling quite well, actually, and those prices have sustained themselves, whereas the upper end market, the 1.5 million plus market.
Things that we can't afford.
Exactly.
Right.
Those things have actually
homes I drive by.
I'm like, is someone going to sell my studio out from under me?
Let me ask you this question with loans, for example. I recently heard from somebody who's in the business from a loan perspective that it's very difficult for people to find loans, jumbo loans greater than about $730,000.
Yeah, the conforming loan limit is $417,
okay.
And then there's something called super conforming, which takes you up to about $630, $629 and change.
Right.
I'm glad you're here. That's that was over my head.
So yeah, above $629, these sort of jumbo loans are more difficult to get, and usually require better credit scores and
more loan to value.
Well, exactly, and you're really not going to get one unless you're 20% down, probably. Okay.
What 50% down? Do you think it's possible to get a loan if you have put more than like half of what you're paying for the home down?
Oh, if you have 50% down, you can pretty much get a loan for
if you have $3 million sitting in your bank account, you can have whatever you like.
Yeah, I mean 50%. Once you get 25% down, really puts you into the realm of being able to get more clever loans.
Okay.
Okay, I want to switch back to finding that house.
Okay.
Not in a bad way, but why do we need you? Because you can look on Craigslist, or you can look on like Realtor.com, or there's all these websites right now. So why do we need a real estate agent?
Well, there are two main reasons to have a real estate agent. A lot of people think that the agent is going to sort of find you that house, and oftentimes, frankly, the real estate agent doesn't find you that house. You do find it on Redfin or a site like that, because it is so accessible to the public. But real estate agents give you access and advice while you're at the properties, because we see everything that's on the market, and we have a good idea of how to sort of maneuver your search based on what you think when you see an actual property. And we also have knowledge and access to all of the contracting and sort of negotiating tools that a lot of people don't understand.
Totally.
Getting from contract to close is a very difficult, incredibly stressful process. And that's really when you need the agent. Because anybody can open a door. But you need a good agent who's able to get you through that contracting process and actually get you to closing. Very few people get to closing when they don't have an agent. That's why, when you try and sell a house yourself, you might be able to find a buyer, but it's unlikely that you actually close the deal.
That's true. That's true. You end up spending a lot more money in the process, I've seen in the past, than if you were to have an agent working with you.
You do, and agents are there for you. A lot of people, initially think that an agent's sort of out to make a buck or kind of squeeze you into something, but our reputations either precede us and we want them to follow us.
Right.
So we want to have done a good job. Like
you, because your business comes from referrals more than anything else. I mean, if you're a pain in the ass or you do something bad, people are like, don't go to Nick around, you do the crap. But in reality, Kate was a huge endorser of you, and I'm sure a lot of your clients, all your clients, say the same.
Referral, and one sale is not a big deal. I can't live a year off one sale, so I need referrals, and I need to have done a good job, and I want people to say good things about. And there are plenty of good agents in DC. Fortunately, in metropolitan areas, a lot of the wheat is separated from the chaff.
Right.
Because there are a lot of buyers.
Yeah.
It's true.
Will you tell us about a gem that's on the market right now? Something you have, a listing you have. What's your favorite? I mean, what's something that's just you got it and you said, I'm thrilled to have this.
I think this is going to sell quickly.
Right. Or like this is just a really unique, special house.
Well, I have a new listing coming up in Cleveland Park. It's a 2-bedroom and a co-op.
Okay.
And right now, I don't know. I mean, Kate bought a co-op, so she understands.
I used to hate co-ops.
You need to understand the difference between a co-op and a condo living here. It's very important.
I'm not saying they aren't.
I didn't want to be the one who didn't know, but I am the one who
I think co-ops are pain in the
We should totally get into that.
I'm always thinking in New York. In New York, co-ops in New York with old ladies on the board. They're like, come in, or a piece of crap. That's what I have in my mind. So
in New York, they're a lot more sort of stressful than here.
Can you give us the quick and dirty on the difference?
The quick difference between a condo and a co-op is in a condo, you're actually getting a deeded piece of property. It's separately deeded. It's as if you're buying a little house or something. There's a deed. Whereas when you're buying a co-op, you're buying shares in a corporation that owns a building in its entirety.
So you don't own your space. You own stock in the building that you live in.
Which is equivalent to a certain space.
Exactly. So when you buy these shares, they give you something called a proprietary lease. And your ownership of those shares allows you this proprietary lease, which allows you perpetual usage of some designated unit. And you can do things to the unit at the same time. It's not like the building has to say you can't do this, you can do this. I mean, if you want to paint it or move a wall or do something, just like owning a condo.
But they have that very interesting board that you have to get by because everybody has to agree that everyone can live together.
They do.
That's always fun.
Communism.
Can you give us your one best pice of advice about going about buying or selling a home in the district? What's the number one thing?
As a person in my early 20s, I'd like to know.
I mean, it's very important to have an agent that you can work with and that you feel very comfortable with. Because that agent's going to help you through, as a first-time buyer, a pretty stressful process. And that's important. It's also important not to spend more than you're comfortable spending. Even if you have more money, you spend where you're comfortable. Don't feel that you have to max out your, where your abilities are. If you talk to a mortgage broker and they say you can't afford this, don't necessarily run out and buy that. Be wary of what's in the market and look at enough things that you're comfortable with the value of what you're purchasing. I mean, that's really important.
Well, we'll check back in with you to see what is going on with the market and see if maybe someday we can afford that $1.5 million house.
We can, but we share it all together.
And how you can help us to get it. Thanks so much for being on with us. And thank you, as always, for joining us on this episode of The District Dish.